Welcome everyone. After this tutorial, you will able to make an enemy AI that will chase you and attack you whenever come in contact, and while not seeing you, it will follow a random path. Let's get begin. So firstly, you will need a enemy skeleton mesh and its animation. I downloaded this all from Examo, but you guys don't worry, I will give the link of this all in my description. You can download it and use it in your project. Now firstly, we will create a blueprint for our character, which is basically for our enemy. Name it whatever you want. I am just going with BP underscore enemy AI, and now double click to open it, and here inside a mesh select your enemy skeleton. In my case it's zombie prisoner, and now adjust it into our capsule, and then under character movements make the movement kinda low so that our enemy will little slow. Now we will add a pawn sensing in our enemy so that it can see us or sense us. Now in your right hand side you can find hear noise, so make sure to turn off because I don't want our enemy to hear noise. We will do that in another video. And make sure to set the radius as per your need. 85 is kinda good for me. Now here click on pawn C and you will directly come into our event graph, and here we will create a variable of float. We can name it can see. Now we will drag our this variable in our graph and set it. Now what we are basically making here, as our pawn will see and is it seeing, if this value is true then it will start moving. Then we will search here for AI move to, and now inside the pawn we will make it self, and under target actor we will make it to get player character. Compile and save it and come back to your map. Here after pressing play you will find that nothing happens. This is because in Unreal Engine for calculating our AI dimensions and all thing we need nav mesh bounce volume. This will basically calculate our all the locations, rotation and the position of our AI. So drag it in your scene and place it and expand it as per your need. I am just going to make it that much is good. And now when I will hit the play, then you can find our enemy is finally following us. So that's good. Now we have to add an animation to our enemy. Now for this we have to create a blend space 1D, and basically blend space 1D is a thing where we just give a transition to different animation and make them a single animation. So make a blend space 1D and name it whatever you want and double click to open it. Now inside this you will find a graph, and in this graph we are just going to drag our animations and make its transition. So I'm first dragging an idle animation, but before that under this horizontal axis name it speed and use the maximum axis as a 500. This is kind of the maximum speed our player can walk, which I already set it in the player's character movement in our blueprint. And just come save it, and now we will drag our walk animation there and finally our run animation there. Now control and left click, and if you hover in this line then you can find the transition of our animation. Now save it and come back to your viewport, and here we are going to create an animation blueprint. So select your skeleton and create, double click to open it, and here inside asset browser search for your blend space that you created, drag it into your graph and connect with results, and in our variable that we created in our blend space promote it to variables. Now move inside your event graph, and here we will get a velocity, and in return value we will add a length vector length, and finally we will just go there and just set our speed and connect the blueprint update animation with this and speed to our vector length, and that's how our animations are finally done. Come back to your enemy blueprint, and here in anime class search for the animation you just created and add it here. Now compile and save it, and now if we will go to play and I will come in front of our enemy, then you can say it's following us by playing the animation. Now what we are going to do, coming back to our blueprints, and here I will put my recently created blueprint into a comment so that later I will get the idea what purpose of this blueprint and I will don't get confused in that. Now we will create a blueprint for our enemy to move randomly in our landscape whenever it's not seeing our character. We will add a branch on event tick and get our can see variable and a not boolean to make it false and connect it to the branch conditions, and from this true branch we will add a delay and make the duration to random float in a range, setting the minimum value around 0.5 and maximum to 6. And after completed delay we will make it to AI to move, and in this AI move to under the pawn we will make it reference of a self, and under destination add get random reachable point radius and make its radius to around 600, and in origin set get actor location. After that, when we will come to our viewport and when I press play, then here we can see that our enemy is going to random location. Oh, he sees me, he is now following. Now we have to create a attacking animation for our enemy. So first I will create a custom event, and now in the movement blueprints on success I will add our attack custom event that we are going to create, so that after success it will play our attack that we are going to create. Now here in our custom event we will add do once node. Now get your character movement on your graph and connect it with disable movement. We are doing the movement disabled so that our animation don't get runned out. Then we will add an animation montage and add our attack montage there. Now we will again get our character movement and connect it with set movement mode here on the interrupted and delay, and drag the node from set movement mode and connect it to do once on reverse. And now go to your animation blueprint and here between our this add a default. This default is basically used to play a different montages. And now if we'll go back to our viewport and press play, here we can see that our zombie or our enemy is attacking us and also doing the random movement. So that's enough for this video. If you have any doubts in blueprint, you can ask me in the comment section and subscribe. Bye bye.